Hey, Michael, Jellyfish Lighting. Today we are doing a landscape lighting job in Holladay, Utah, and I'm here with Anthony, who's going to give us an explanation of the job.
Okay, so today we're doing a job that has already been installed. We're actually adding landscaping lights on this today. First of all, when we get to our jobs, we're trying to coordinate and figure out, where exactly they want the landscaping lights. Most of the time they're already preset, but customers, they change their ideas. So we try to accommodate anything that we can. Right now on this job, it calls for 27 landscape lights, 7 spotlights, and 20 pathway lights. So yeah, right now we're doing the easy part. So these are all the pathway lights that are coming down this way. So I'm running 2 lines. We got to split up the footage. We actually have to put lights way on the other side of the house, and then we have lights over here in the front. There's a big driveway between the house and where we need to put our lights. So we're trying to figure out how to go about doing that. In this scenario, they already have existing lights. So what we're going to do is we're going to hide our wire in those lights to get them over to the point we need to. It's super important that you test your voltage. Whenever you're running your lines, before you bury anything, you want to test your voltage. Make sure that you're above 19 volts. In this scenario, we had to run 2 lines. Sometimes you can get away with running just the one. Sometimes you have to run multiple. It's important to understand that you do need to divide up the footage among these lines. If you have a really long home run, make sure that you're putting transmitters on these long jumps. Make sure your voltage is above 19 on your last light. Other than that, you shouldn't have any issues. There's actually 3 spotlights on this line and 20 cylinders on this line. And then on our second line, we have 4 spotlights. Our second line's probably about 170 feet-ish. So keep that in mind as well. When you're pushing these really long home runs, you can't put as many lights on the home runs. So just pay attention to your voltage. You shouldn't run into any issues.
Perfect.
Yeah, so on the north corner of the house, we're going to be mounting it on this exterior wall. Important to bring to the customer's attention. Our controllers do have a little fan in it, and it does produce a hum. So we always put it on an exterior wall. So this is where I'm going right here, mounting my controller, running my line, both of them, out right here into the subfascia, into the soffit. One of my lines is going to be coming down the gutter, down the downspout to start my first light.
Okay.
And then the next line, we're going to pull down this track right here, and we're going to hide it along this track all the way to the east side of the house. You can see part of the wire over here right now.
That's a long jump.
Oh yeah. You kind of get an idea of how it's being hidden through the planted.
So has he already fed it into this track?
Yes. We'll keep coming around this end. In this particular scenario, it's going to require a little bit of finesse. Obviously, we don't want to make the lights that are already up look any worse, or look worse in general. So make sure we're putting our screws back, our clips back, make sure the track is actually where it's supposed to be. We're going to follow this down to this downspout. We'll be running it down this downspout. We're going to have to move some of this wood on this other side, but we're going to penetrate through the wall below ground and have our line coming out to these trees.
And that's where you're putting them, is right there, huh?
Yep.
How long of a jump is that?
Right now we're roughly 150, 170 feet.
150, 170 feet.
Yep.
And you can do that with just the landscape transmitter.
Yep.
Very good.
Yes, sir.
Excellent.
Yeah, and the customer is looking for our advice, so we offer it to them. Whether our suggestions, they want to take it or not, we still offer them. So in this scenario, I told them it's going to look better on these 4 trees rather than, some of these bushes.
Okay. Okay. From your prior install experience.
Yes. So I'm just demonstrating how we're going to install our transmitters to our home run. So coming out of the controller, you're going to have your transmitter. This will be tied in standard. So it's going to look like power, communication, redundant, and ground together. Now when you tie in, you're going to add a pigtail to your transmitter. So there's our pigtail, quick connect. From our pigtail, we're going to go wire for wire into our home run. So we'll have blue to communication, black to black for your ground, power to power, your redundant to your redundant. Now coming into the first light, where we're going to have our junction box, we got these quick connects. Let's pop these open. So from here we'll go power, power. Okay, so we're on our second light right now. You want to pay attention to these T's because they are directional. The arrows will point in the direction the power needs to be going. So the power is going this way. These are your quick connects. There's your 5-prong to your 5-prong. It's always going to be your light coming out of your 5. It's always going to be your extensions coming to your 4 prongs. Right now we dug these probably about 3.5–4 inches deep. It's important for our landscape, you know, for the customer's landscape. What we like to do if they have different materials is we'll pull the materials back with a rake, rock rake or something, you know, whether they have mulch or rocks or anything like that. If you don't like to mix the materials, it makes your job a lot easier if you don't. In this case, most of it was just dirt, so we just spread it apart. And you don't really need to go too deep in the flower beds. Obviously, if the customer requests it, we'll go a little bit deeper. But, you know, we explain, like, if you want to move your lights or have the ability to move your lights, there is a couple of feet of play off of these T's in either direction. Customers like that. As far as the grass goes...
And then, so on your specific job here, what's your... It looks like maybe only 3 inches?
Yes.
And then you're going to just basically cover the lines with the dirt?
Yep,
okay.
Exactly. Yeah, so we're going to test everything first, make sure we're all functioning. And as soon as you're ready to bury, it's a real quick process. We'll have it all buried here in about 5 minutes.
Okay.
So.
Welcome to the box.